What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the City Light Project YouTube channel for another watch party, not fight companion, watch party. We'll get back to the fight companions this weekend. I've missed you all. I go away for one weekend and it feels like so long. So it's good to be back in the chair. It's good to be back hanging out with you guys. It's good to be back live here on the channel. And literally, Kyle texts me right now. He says, I am uploading his newest fishing vlog as we speak, and it will be up on Thursday. So there you go. More good news. Guys, why the fuck has this episode not started yet? 9:04 Central Time for me right now, 10 p.m. Eastern. There are people shaking their heads right now. There's many of you who are like, why am I even staying up for this god-awful season of this show? Oh, yeah, to hang out with the community, but it hasn't even started yet. This is insane. This is insane. What's going on, Jay Herbo? Again, keep the comments coming, folks, if you're new to the channel. On fight nights, covering all mixed martial arts, all combat sports around the world, we do live play-by-play commentary, reaction, and interaction with all you amazing folks in the live chat for Fight Companions. When there's Ultimate Fighter on, it's mostly a watch party. It's mostly just interacting with the chat. Here when the fight's on, we will dive in and talk about it as we do like when we were covering live fights. So like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're posting content every week, vlogs, fight content, and then we do a full slate of live streams. We'll be posting the schedule tonight. Guys, 5 minutes in. There's nothing on my broadcast here. What's going on? Ben, more like Ben the Goof. Dude, Ben's the man, dude. You got to take everything Ben says with a grain of salt. What's up, Diego? Missed you. How was your trip? The fights were crazy. Did you catch up with some of the action? I did, dude. Shout out to Carlos Hernandez. Okay, looks like the Ultimate Fighter's starting right now. Okay, it just started right now, folks. Yeah, dude. Carlos Hernandez, that's my roommate's friend. So that was a nasty win there. Torres with that nasty elbow in the UFC. Bellator fights. I haven't caught up on all of them, but I caught up on the ones that I needed to watch. And yeah, man, Octagon. It was a good weekend all around. Yo, what's up, Phony? It's good to see you, buddy. Hockey from home, good to see you as well. Yeah, miss the fam. Let's go. It's good to see you all. It's good to see you all. Oh, man, it literally just started right now on my end. On the ESPN app, it did not start. Or on ESPN Plus, it literally started right now. All right, so now we're seeing Cold Sore Boy. I mean, sorry. I mean, Trevor Wells go up against Timur Valiev, and we've already seen the drama in the promo for this show. Connor's team doesn't want to, make a catch weight. They want to force Valiev to make the full weight cut again. We've already seen it. But anyways, that's going to be the whole show. There's going to be some stupid cuts to the families and their personal lives, which again, like I just rewatched the Ultimate Fighter season 10. No cuts to the family. The producers, it was such a reality show. Like it reminded me of Big Brother Survivor vibe, which is what made it so good because they're fighters. They aren't just a bunch of random fucks living in a home or a beach. And it was so good. There was no cutscenes of the families for filler, guys. It was just the producers catching funny moments from Matt Mitrione and some of the other meatheads of a cast that they had. And it was just incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Yeah, well, we'll be back this weekend. Episode is no freaking started. What the heck? It says it's on 2 channels. Only one of them is playing it. Got you. Yeah, well, it wasn't broadcasting on ESPN. Dude, I am so stoked for Ryzen 43. By the way, shout out to Shane here on the channel, one of our exclusive members. Appreciate you. What's up, Habib? What's up, JL, our other exclusive member here? JL's been active in the Discord too, buddy, so welcome. All right, so yeah, right now, finally the show has begun. The intro to it is over, and we're just seeing some training footage right now of Chandler and Valiev. It's good to see you, JL. Oh, man, ate like a king on the weekend. Some fresh walleye, some ahi tuna steaks, just amazing, huge breakfast, some bacon, fucking like this dill salsa in my eggs. Oh, my God, it was unbelievable. Some good beers, some good whiskey, some good cigars out there on the boat. Kayaked a bit. It was great. Valiev round 1 submission. Psh, dude, I can see that 100%. Armbar guillotine, maybe. Yeah, so here we go, Chandler. This is what we saw in the promo leading up to this. I swear, man, like they take the only good parts of the show and they show us them in the promo, and then the only other good parts of the show they don't even put in the show and they put in the after show. So again, I've been watching some of the old ones, guys. Even the Sarah Hughes season, as goofy as that one was way better than this. Hey now. I had a garbage PS4. It was awesome. I sold it for gas money to get me to the United States. I also have an Xbox, so. Oh, like, study hard. I hope you have good midterms. Good luck. Yeah, do we have any Final Fantasy fans in the live chat? Wasn't there someone who went off about it? Oh, it was Gravedigger Jones. I had a barbecue on Saturday and had so much sugar on Friday, aka venti Starbucks and bubble tea right after. Oh my goodness, see, that's too much for me. That's too much for me. I don't even like sugar in my coffee. I only watch Super Bowl for NFL. I watch almost every game of the Raptors NBA. Hell yeah. Again, if I'm going to watch football, it's because I'm in the belly of the beast of Minnesota sports and do a podcast on hockey. But, you know, during NFL season, there's always some Viking shit to talk about. I quite literally forced myself to watch a Vikings games. But I enjoy following. I enjoy being a fan of a CFL team. And yes, it's because I'm Canadian. There's probably no other reason other than that. Hernan, what's going on? Hernan, it's good to see you. Nice new profile picture, my man. Ate like a king, like King Hernan this last weekend. At least the NBA can turn things around quicker than hockey teams. All right, so the fighters now, Wells and Valiev, there's a little cutscene of them talking in the house. See, even the way it's filmed isn't even like the old days of the production. And again, there were reality show producers who I forget up until what season where they stopped doing that, but for a good chunk of TUF. I mean, Dalvin Cook in his peak was awesome. He slowed down the last couple years. Other than that, I don't give a shit. The Vikings aren't going to win the Super Bowl anytime soon, so they're gonna middle around. Hey, maybe we'll sneak into the playoffs. Hey, maybe we'll win one playoff game. Maybe not sneak. Maybe we'll be a decent regular season team. We'll win some games we probably shouldn't win, and we'll lose games we probably should win. Like they should have beaten Green Bay at the end of the season. There was no rhyme or reason why they lost that game. Yeah, it was horrendous. But I just like football is like one of my least favorite sports. Football and baseball, and I'm in America. Like football and baseball, my two least favorite sports. Oh yeah, Valiev trains out of Tiger Muay Thai. We'll highlight these fighters in a bit here. And again, Valiev, there was no reason for him to go on the show other than to just like boost his stock a little bit. Because like win or lose, the UFC is going to take him back. Hell yeah, Friday, finally. And I hate to rip on him because he's Canadian, but still, like who the fuck does this guy think he is? Bular. I mean, come on. He won the title, what was it, almost 3 years ago? Is that what it was? 2-3 years ago and he hasn't defended it yet? Oh, Valiev's family's cute. Oh, they're just petting tigers. Oh, and one of them's a redhead? It's kind of like Dariush's little girl here running around. All right, so Valiev just seems like a beauty. But again, I'd rather see drama in the house than this fucking shit. No, I saw it. I wish Saints didn't sign Williams because we'd probably be getting Cook right now, but I'm happy we got Williams. Oh, so you're a Saints fan. If he has a season like last year, he set the record for most TDs. Oh, wow. My boy from Hold the Mayo, he was a huge Saints guy. He's a great Saints and New Orleans content creator. I mean, shit, even if you just watch the Red Beans Monday clips, I mean, this guy's an absolute legend. Shout out Devin Snow. He's actually been on the stream before, I think before you joined us, Herbo, but I give Devin an open invitation every weekend as he's a big UFC guy as well. Huge gambling guy. And yeah, we got to bring Devin back on for a live stream because Devin Snow, I mean, his brand has grown so much in the last few years, but the guy's been grinding for a while, and we worked together at one point, and it would be cool to do some content together. Oh, look, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is helping out here on training day with Connor. Oh, by the way, Conor McGregor unfortunately didn't enter the USADA pool by deadline. He will not be fighting Michael Chandler in 2023. I repeat, Conor McGregor did not enter the USADA testing pool in time to be able to fight Chandler in 2023. So is Chandler really going to wait that long? Maybe, because it's Conor McGregor, because that's a big payday, but I don't know, man. Yeah, dude, so many people are high. I mean, again, I don't think the odds should be that big, but shit, maybe like minus 400. Like, of course, I'm a Saints fan. Let's go, baby. You should drop his Twitter. I believe it's just Hold the Mail. But he changed it. He's on every social media, but here, his Twitter, Facebook and Twitter, I think that's where he's the biggest on. One sec. Shout out Devin Snow again. Snow like John, that's right. It was HTM Sports, but that account got... That's the thing. He had an account that I think he worked up to like 15,000 followers. And then Twitter, when Celine Dion was doing her purge of any music on Twitter, she got his account too, and he rebuilt it. And he rebuilt it even bigger. So shout out to you, buddy. And again, he does a segment, Red Beans Monday, and it's amazing. By the way, my best friend Jackson said thanks for the wish. Oh, sweet. Thanks, Jackson. Happy birthday. He will not be fighting Chandler ever. Everyone knows this. Dude, that's what I said. Sounds good. Hockey from home. All right, so here's how the quarterfinals are playing out. Again, this was supposed to be episode 2, but Trevor Wells had the herp, so we saw him in McKenzie and Gutierrez fight instead. At least I think so. What are we on? Week 4? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th. Oh no, we saw Katona fight instead. He fought Vera instead. You know what? I have the bracket up here. Let's just take a look at it right now. All right, so yeah, Cody Gibson beat Mando Gutierrez TKO. Roosevelt Roberts, that was the first episode. Austin Hubbard beat Aaron McKenzie. Okay, so who was I missing? Oh, you know what? Katona hasn't fought yet. I literally watched the season of The Ultimate Fighter that he was on. The production in that one wasn't great either. That was the last one, I think, before they took their like big break of the show. And Daniel Cormier made that show good. There was some drama, I guess, in the house, but overall, it wasn't that crazy. But that one was definitely this style of production. Let's bring Valiev up and take a look at him here. Keep the comments coming, folks, by the way, throughout this watch party. I mean, you guys are driving the bus. What's up, JD? No fights yet, buddy. No fights yet. There's not going to be a fight till the very end. So tune back in for the fight if you want, but it's good to see you. Oh, man. See, I missed Glory this last weekend, too, but I can't wait for Glory 88 as well. Oh, man. See, and I knew him back when he was 200 followers. Don't make him feel like his head's too big there. Dude, man, when Devin and I met, I was still in college. creating THPN with Dylan. He was selling, what do you say, slanging Fords. He was a car salesman by day, starting his company by night. And we, he did some hockey content with us. We worked together for a little bit, and it's awesome to see the success that he's gotten. Like he was on my network for a little bit doing a hockey podcast, and we've just gone on each other's show. We've cross promoted. He's come on this channel a few times for like guest appearances on live streams, and I've been on his podcast. He was on my podcast before, like helped him start a hockey podcast at one point. Like when he was, put it this way, Devin threw a lot at the wall, and though a lot of it stuck, it didn't stick long enough, big enough, for lack of a better analogy. Whereas this Red Beans Monday and his blogs have hit, and he's continued to do those, and now he's like I said, he's a local celebrity there in Louisiana. Who do you have winning this weekend, Josh, Emmett, or Elia? Oh, you guys are going to have to check out my prediction video that's going to drop probably Thursday morning. I finished filming the PFL one. I'm going to edit that before bed here tonight. Check out my Ryzen predictions, though, by the way. Speaking of Ryzen, I dropped my Ryzen prediction video. And guys, there's actually a few really good underdogs, and there's a few betting sites where you can actually bet on Ryzen as well. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? Vote in this poll question, by the way, if you haven't already, folks. We do have a poll question. We're going to have a TUF related poll question every single week. If you haven't voted yet, please do so. Who's your favorite coach on the Ultimate Fighter? Comment if not listed. Coaches too, if you want to pick one and comment one, let me know, as there's been a lot of coaches in the Ultimate Fighter. Mine, Quentin Rampage Jackson, despite him losing every single matchup in the first season up against Forrest Griffin and going, 7-1 up against Rashad, he admitted, I'm no coach. I ain't no coach, Rashad. I ain't no coach. Came up to the train and support the guys, and he was just such a character, man. He was like, there were more cutscenes to Rampage than there were any cutscenes to fucking Family or any shit like that, because that's how the Ultimate Fighter should be. But here's the Ryzen video, my Ryzen prediction. Check it out after this, folks. Again, a few good underdogs on that card. I have Topuria winning, but I think it's going to go the distance, and I think that whatever it was, minus 250 for Emmett on the betting lines, and 90% vote on Tapology is fucking disrespectful, man. It's horrendous. I think that was crazy to see. My prediction was Valiev, round one finish, most likely submission, but Valiev for sure wins. Absolutely. I thought you were gonna bet. I was like, you can't bet, this isn't live, but yeah, okay. And I think that's a good bet. I think it's gonna go, especially because it's 5 rounds, like we said on Discord. If you guys want to become a part of our Discord, become a member of the channel, we'll post special links there. We'll post our early picks. All it is one-time subscription. Even if you don't want to renew your subscription, that is fine. You'll always have access to the Discord, and we're going to get back into the rhythm of member streams every single week as well. And we're going to start doing more a week as well. Bisping was your vote. What's up, Aston LC? I think back in the day, people complained that it was just drama and not fighting focus, hence the new era of TUF. I miss the old stuff. Aston, I do think a fraction of the fan base like that. And to be honest, I liked a mix of both as well. But I do think that they did a good mix. Other than the first 2 seasons where they had those challenges, right, when it was like really reality show based, I do think that there was a lot of fighting. I think people forget how much element of fighting there actually was. Like, instead of the family cutaway scenes, there were them training. There were scenes of them training, even if it was just music in the background of training shots in that smaller UFC training center. Like, again, I've been rewatching the older ones, and I would say like 5, 10, shit, even I think it was 12 or 13 was the Sarah and Hughes one. Like, there was actually a lot of training. Now, it was more comical. The producers did lean on the drama, but there was a lot of drama amongst the coaches too, which was an added element. It wasn't just a bunch of drunk idiots in the house. The coaches usually had like a little some against each other, which was awesome. But I totally agree with what you're saying. Then I do think that a fraction did want to see a little bit more fighting, but it is important to know that the UFC took over production, right? Like they had originally like the producer who did Survivor, and then I forget their second round of production in like the middle part of this show's life. But they also had a reality show producer. By the way, shout out to everyone watching. Again, this isn't a traditional fight companion that we hold in this channel. We do fight companions every single weekend. We have a huge schedule dropping tonight, so stay tuned. Check out the community tab. We will be dropping the schedule of all the fight companions that we're doing this weekend. The Ryzen's in there as well. PFL, UFC, One Championship. It's going to be a great weekend. For that, we do live play-by-play commentary, reaction, and interaction with you guys throughout the entire event and fights, and really focus on the fights. We give our predictions as we go. You can check out the early predictions that I drop on the channel as well. But for this one, it's just pretty much hanging out with you guys in the live chat, and we'll go a little more in depth when the fight begins. But Aston, again, thank you so much for joining. Activate A, thank you so much for joining as well, man. It's good to see everybody. It was weird taking a weekend off. JL, have you even seen him coach the Ultimate Fighter? He's kind of a dick back then, which I liked. It was perfect. He won season 3 of the Ultimate Fighter on Tito's team. I believe him and Ross Pearson were Ross Pearson, but not the Ross Pearson, a different Ross Pearson. Okay, so they are gonna fight at a catch weight, 142 pounds. What's up, foul one? Tough 9 Mir Nogueira's top tier tough. Dude, that's an underrated season. I think the only season that really sucked was Carwin versus Big Country Nelson. There was like some drama in that one. Dude, Mir versus Nogueira with Ryan Bader was a contestant on that season. Ryan Bader is an assistant coach for Team Chandler here. Man, the prank wars where the guy was, well, let's just say multiple varieties of human fluids hidden in fruit platters, sushi. I mean, shit, Junie Browning. The dude who was like, I can't get knocked out, and then Buddy just knocks him the fuck out. I mean, oh my goodness. Poynton, yes, sorry. Man, he was so fun. He was not a good fighter, but he was fun. He was one of my favorite guys on the show as well. Just gave no shits about cutting weight, but then somehow cut weight. I mean, McGregor's at practice. He ain't at the weigh-ins or anything like that. Do as you're told. Unless he's about to kick in the door with some mysterious white powder under his nose. Dude, that's the thing. Like, Connor's not fighting the UFC in 2023. Fucking Ryzen should just scoop him up for a one-fight deal. For one fight, and this is wishful thinking because the UFC is obviously not going to allow him to do this. But Ryzen should do a little Ireland versus Japan on New Year's Eve. Hit up Connor with, whatever his fight purse is. The Yakuza's got it. Plus just all the fucking coke he wants, man. And let's just go. Let's do Ireland versus Japan. Put a talented 170er, but someone Connor will probably beat in front of him there in Ryzen. Do it at the Tokyo Dome. Let's go. All right, so Trevor Wells, we're just looking at a little bit of him right now. He's competed in Uriah Faber's A1 combat. Maybe he's a nice stick. Oh, do you guys see Rivera's? Was it Rivera? Jorge Rivera's like South Park taunt to him? Michael Bisping's a dick. He's a big gold dick. He's a dick. Here, let me find that. No, Michael Bisping was the heel of like the UFC. He was, and I loved him back then because he that was his thing. He was one of the most hated fighters. And now he's beloved. It's awesome. Yeah, dude. I've been watching Bisping since I was 14, 13 when that season came out. I think I was 13 years old when that season came out. Michael Bisping, young lad coming over to Las Vegas from England. Like you said, one of the two. Oh, here it is. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, Jorge Rivera. Oh, not at all. JL. Different time in season 3 when they were writing Rory. Yeah, yes, that's. Oh yeah. I mean, what about Nicky? What about Nate Diaz? Right? He has some of the best sound bites in that show. Now, I don't care if they're the producers don't have to put that stuff in this day and age, right? Like they can choose. I'm sure like there's so much shit that goes on in the house that they can choose from. Just like be a little bit more edgy. Hey, Michael Bisping. He knew it. Like I said, he went heel. Do you think Buller is getting disrespected? Them odds giving him 0 chance. I think 100%. The odds are crazy. Kind of like, I mean, not to the minus 800 degree. But, to kind of an Emmett Topuria comparison, like Emmett's getting disrespected in the lines too. Again, not to the same degree. I don't think minus 800. I don't think it should be I don't think his opponent should be minus 800. I think that's crazy. What was Bular again? Like plus 5 something? Look, I mean, he hasn't fought in so long. People are saying he's been 1 foot out the door. The excuses galore. So I do think he's the underdog. I just don't think it's that crazy. Love Bisping or hate him, Dan Henderson's finish was over the top. Dude, that shit was nuts. I started loving Bisping when he tore Guru up to shreds. JL, you're such a new fan, bro. It's so funny. Like, dude. And I guess that's a reason to love Bisping. But man, you got to go back and watch season 3 of The Ultimate Fighter. You got to go back and watch some of the wars he's had early in his career, man. Because that's the Bisping that everyone should have fallen in love with. Not the one who had an online spat with the disabled ginger. Oh, how can you hate Dan Henderson? Dan Henderson's an absolute beauty. He's a legend. And I love how he had his fist do the talking. Now, I was rooting for Bisping in that whole rivalry. Don't get me wrong. See, I was a bigger fan of Bisping, the heel fighter, than I am Bisping the content creator / color commentator. Now, not to say that I dislike him at all. It's not that. It's like I don't listen to his podcast regularly. Every now and then I will if they have a good guest on. Every now and then I'll say what's up in his live stream, but I feel bad. Everyone just kind of bullies him in the live stream, getting him to go full Ron Burgundy. And I mean, just how can you not respect the guy for fighting a few more times without an eye? Oh, I know you do, JL. He's the 3rd best middleweight. No, he didn't even defend his title once. Don't get me wrong. I loved that win against Luke Rockhold to get the title, but he couldn't even defend it once. He lost to George St. Pierre, who came out of retirement, who had colitis up a weight class. I will say, though, I feel bad that his retirement fight went the way that it did. He took the fight on short notice. Again, he's an absolute beauty. He's an absolute beast. But he took the fight on short notice against, what was it, Gastelum? Gastelum beat the hell out of him. He does. Oh, dude, you don't even know. You're too young. Jail, you're too young. I mean, I don't want to burst his bubble here, guys, but someone else can. The H-bomb, baby. Move coined at Michael Bisping's face, being the thing at that expense there. So yeah, riveting show here, guys. The chat's been awesome though. So keep the comments coming. Phony, what's up? Bisping proved he was better than Henderson, dude. It's no, and again, I'm not on an island here. Like Dan Henderson was a better fighter overall than Michael Bisping. Like let's be real here. And again, JL, like he's too young to have watched Henderson in Pride and Henderson in Strike Force, and hell, Henderson at all really in the UFC. And Henderson was going strong on the TRT and off the TRT. Hey, like I said, I was a fan of Bisping. I was a fan of Bisping in that rivalry. I was cheering for Bisping against Dan Henderson, but I'm not going to talk crazy and say things that are false in saying that Bisping is the 3rd best middleweight of all time. Bisping is better than Dan Henderson. If you look at their careers as a whole, man, Henderson is an absolute legend. Henderson's a Hall of Famer. And yeah, and Henderson was at his 40s at that point, and he was still at the top of the division. Strikeforce and Pride champion. That was Henderson. So in when Pride was better than the UFC, and when before UFC had Strikeforce's roster, which made the UFC what it is today, Dan Henderson was a champion in both of those promotions. You see that video of Bisping's son wrestling some kid for $10? Yes. Oh, man. Again, I'm on your side, JL. I was a fan of Bisping, and I am a fan of Bisping. But to suggest... Oh, look, and Dan Henderson, look, oh my goodness. How ironic is that? Dan Henderson literally is helping oh my God, is helping Wells wrestle here. Look at this guy. He's pretty much almost 60 years old here, and he's bouncing around like he's fucking 32. So Henderson cheated. Bisping never... It wasn't cheating back then. It wasn't cheating. And you don't know if Bisping was on the sauce or not in the Wild West days. You don't know that. JL, I'm sorry, you're wrong, buddy. Like you can't argue when you have no facts. And in this one again, you're making me argue here because I'm not going to bend over for something that is wrong. And Dan Henderson, if you put his career up against Michael Bisping, you were on the island yet again, my man. I'm sorry, but again, I'm not just going to agree with things for the sake of agreeing with them when I know they're wrong. But I will reinforce again that when that, and you were too young to even see that rivalry play out. So how do you even have anything to stand on here when you weren't even watching the sport at that time? I was on Bisping's side. I wanted nothing more than for Bisping to beat Henderson. I watched that season of The Ultimate Fighter every single week, popcorn in hand, probably fucking Pepsi or some shit as well, because I was too young to be on the beers. But man, I was rooting for Michael Bisping. I was rooting for the English villain in the UFC, and god damn it, did Dan Henderson knock him the fuck out, and then one more broken jaw. I don't know if it's actually a broken jaw for good measure. Connor, coaching the wrestling exchanges is not very helpful. See, disagree. UFC became what the UFC was because of Strikeforce. If not for the Strikeforce merger, no Ronda Rousey, no Luke Rockhold, no Chris Weidman, no DC. I mean, the list goes on. No Fabricio Verdum. How many of those were champions again? DC, Rockhold, Verdum. You know what I mean? Like Rousey. Dude, Strikeforce, when it was going head to head with the UFC, it wasn't selling it wasn't making as much money as the UFC, but as far as talent head to head, dude, Strikeforce, and I want to make a video about this actually, and I've been thinking about it. Like the UFC people say the UFC wouldn't be what it is today without Pride. The heavyweights and the light heavyweights at that time, sure, the UFC's division, the light heavyweight and heavyweight divisions got a massive boost because of Pride. But dude, it was Strikeforce that really solidified up and down the entire roster. And then the WEC, obviously, for the 145-pound division. He said, I'm going to smash you. Let's go. I'm going to smash you. Well, I'm comparing Dan Henderson in the UFC to Bisping, and he was still better. And he was still better. He was still better. I'm sorry. He was. He was. This might be a third rounder. It's starting early. Yeah, they're making their walkouts pretty soon here. Again, I might be a little behind you, Jay Herbo, because for me, they're just entering the locker rooms right now. Again, guys, for the record here, I don't want my words twisted at all or anything. I'm a fan of Michael Bisping, but I cannot agree with JL, and I don't think I'm on an island here. Let me know, chime in the live chat as well if you guys have some thoughts, because it just seems like him and I are going head to head as we do. Do you think who's the better fighter, Dan Henderson or Michael Bisping? Michael Bisping not even being able to defend his middleweight title once in the UFC. Everything that he did was incredible, but I think if you look at their careers next to each other and compare them, like there's no doubt that that Henderson was the better fighter. People are like, oh, Bisping did what he did, later in his career. Like we said, Henderson got to the UFC and was beating up top contenders in his late 30s and 40s. The guy's an absolute machine. And again, even without TRT, the guy was smashing people. Uri was off the horse meat juice. He looks skinny for his MMA Japan comeback. Dude, I saw that picture and actually shared it as well. I hope he fights in Ryzen, but apparently he's just waiting out to fight in the next big Glory Grand Prix. Dan Henderson was at the end of his career once he got to the UFC, but he fought for like 10 more years after that. And again, shadow of what he was, I get it. But in his first run against Bisping towards the end of his career, he was still better and good enough to put Bisping out. And Bisping fought him again, what was it, like 6 years later when he was really at the end of his career? Again, it was a good rivalry. I cheered for Bisping the whole entire time. Adesanya, if we include his kickboxing accomplishments, is better than Silva. Anderson Silva? Oh my God, I can't tonight. Bisping is underrated and awesome. Maybe not underrated. He's not underrated at all. But not talked about enough. Dude's a legend. Dude, he's talked about plenty. You can't keep comparing other promotions. Yes, you can. When at, again, this is how I know you weren't watching UFC, you weren't watching MMA at that time, and it's not your fault. You just weren't old enough. Those three were the big three. And oh my God, who was fighting in the UFC? Michael fucking Bisping was at that time. Weird, I know, weird. It's crazy, but it's true. I didn't this weekend. I was out at the cabin. Yes, he did. And I'm glad he did. I was rooting for Bisping. I'm a Bisping fan, JL. Tyron Woodley also came from Strikeforce. There you go. Thank you, Aston. What's up, Benjamin? No, JL, because you say dumb things like he's better than Dan Henderson. That's what I disagree on. I don't care if you like Bisping or not. I like Bisping, and I've told you how many times, folks. This is the 7th time, I think. Take note, 7th time that I've said I even cheered for Bisping during their rivalry. I was on Team Bisping, but Bisping lost that first time when it mattered. Let's be honest. And if I'm gonna put those careers head to head, I'm not on an island, dude. I'm not. It's commercial on my end. Oh shit, I'm behind on comments. Glory K1 M1. Yes, M1 was on as well. Oh wait, sorry. Glory K1 M1 WC Strikeforce. How are you ahead? Are you watching on Fight Pass? I'm talking to Shane. I'm watching on ESPN Plus. Bisping in his videos always hyped himself up. I agree with you. Oh, dude, he was awesome. He was awesome. And like I said, he was the villain of the UFC at that time, and we needed more of those. I like 80% agree with him, but then like the 20% is like a hard disagree. Yeah. What are they, 1-1? Again, overall, I don't know how much more how clear I can explain this, so I'm just not going to. And no, he's not. He's just passionate. And hey, he stands his guard. I stand mine. In no respect to Joe. No. I stand my guard. Jail stands his. What do I think about Henry versus Cheeto? I think it's I did not expect that matchup. Yeah, I did not expect Cejudo to want to take that matchup. All right. Sorry, guys. 1 sec. We'll get back to the comments here in a second. I just want to quickly highlight these two fighters as they are going to be fighting here in just a moment. So let's get to them, and I'll catch up on the comments here. And again, there's just for the record, any of the new people joining in here, like there's no animosity, at least from my end towards Joe. Between us, we go at it, and we're both passionate all the time here. I'm just verbose because I want to make sure that my point is clear, so I'm not missing anything. Timur Valiev, 18 wins, 3 losses, 33 years old, 5 KO, TKO, 2 submissions, 11 decisions. He's fought in the World Series of Fighting and the PFL, 5-1 in the World Series of Fighting, 3-0 in the PFL, which World Series of Fighting was the PFL. You know, see the little logo. 2-1 and 1 no contest in the UFC. He lost to Jack Shore, not a bad loss at all, back in early 2022. Beat Ronnie Barcelos, good win. Martin Day, that's a win. But Ronnie Barcelos is a solid win. The guy's 16-1 when he beat him. And look, was on an absolute tear before then in the PFL, beating pretty decent guys, 18-3, 19-3. Let's take a look at his opponent, Trevor Wells. I think I'll give it right back to the comments in a sec here, folks, but keep them coming. I appreciate all the interaction here. It makes these watch parties so much fun, and that's kind of what these watch parties are. It's just engaging with the comments here, and I do that as much as I can on the fight companions, but when the fight starts, kind of like when this fight starts here, we'll give a play-by-play and some focused attention. I'm going to get to it here in just a few moments here, folks. There's 15 minutes left in the show, and this fight's about to start. Let's quickly take a look at Trevor Wells, and then we'll get back to some play-by-play as round one starting. 8-3 pro MMA record. 1 KO, 2 KO, 1 submission, 6 decisions, 0-1 in LFA. He's got a split decision win at Uriah Faber's A1 Combat. His record is meh. 8-7, 8-4, 7-5 guys were his last wins. He lost to 4-2. Hey, he lost to Carlos Hernandez. Let's go. That's my buddy, my roommate Joe's friend, the guy who got that head clash KO and elbow on the ground with 1 second left. Shout out to him there. But anyways, this fight has begun. Trevor Wells, Timur Valiev. We're going to tune in a little close here, folks, and I'll get back to the comments in just a moment. But again, appreciate you guys joining here. All right. 4 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock here. No, a couple nice hands there by Trevor Wells. He landed a left hook on Timur Valiev. Valiev now looking for the takedown. I'll get their names on the ticker here. And Valiev now going for the back. Oh, one hook in here. Both of them on the ground. Right side of Trevor Wells up against the cage. His right hand is planted on the mat. Valiev with some solid wrestling. And he backpack. Trevor Wells is back up to his feet. Timur Valiev has his back here. 3 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock here. Body triangle is secured, and Timur Valiev already looking for the choke here early in this fight. I may not even have time to update this ticker here. Good job fighting the hands by Trevor Wells, but the body triangle is employed here and just riding full backpack is Timur Valiev. Timur Valiev doesn't have the choke yet. He was grabbing that right hand of Trevor Wells, trying to draw it in. Still looking for that choke here. Still on his back is Valiev. Oh, it's not under the chin. Good job. Good job by Trevor Wells here. Starting to get frustrated. You can see it on his face. Again, apologies for missing some of the comments here. I'll get back to them as quickly as I can. Oh, and he gets off him here. 2 minutes and 24 seconds left. We all agree on that one. We all agree on that one. Yeah, I don't know why the times are all fucked up. The broadcast didn't start until 5 after the top of the hour, so 10:05 Eastern. So sorry, just fuck off and fuck back in a little bit if I'm spoiling anything for you. What's up, West Coast? It's good to see you. Benjamin as well. Oh, and a little kick to the balls there by Valiev. All right, time to quickly look at the comments. See, I knew something was wrong here. Hendo was good, but Bisping was as good. See, I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. Bisping was as good as Hendo when Hendo was at the end of his career, and Hendo fought into his late 40s, and he's still without TRT, because he was one of the guys who was on it when it was allowed again. But even off TRT, he was good. All right, we're back at it. 1 minute and 21 seconds on the clock here. Trevor Wells with a double left jab. Valiev going beautiful timing there for the takedown, but a good reversal by Trevor Wells. Back up to his feet. Man, Trevor Wells, he's decent. Another good takedown there by Valiev. Back up to his feet is Trevor Wells. Trevor Wells putting up a good fight here. Straight left by Valiev. Overhand right by Valiev. Spinning kick to the body. Valiev getting a little crazy here in the final minute of this fight. 44 seconds left in this first round. Oh, fake knee straight left and then an axe kick attempt by Valiev. Valiev's working a lot in the final minute anyways of this first round. $20 seconds left. And Valiev, yeah, employing the body kick, just straight front body kick. Nice step back left by Valiev. Trevor Wells, though, man, the guy's explosive. And he's landing some decent jabs with that lead left. Neither of them are attacking the lead left legs. A little bit more stationary as Trevor Wells, whereas Valiev's like bouncing up and down there. And that's the end of the first round. For me, anyways, apparently those on TSN, apparently you guys have already seen the fucking fight or you're well into the second round. So I knew it was starting late, but sorry about getting behind some of the comments here. Jay Herbo, again, I wholeheartedly disagree with you. He's talked about all the time. Every time, somebody makes a comparison on his podcast or someone else on a podcast that he's on, or if he's on the desk or anything, he always gives an example, or someone on the desk always gives an example back to his day. And I feel like fans do as well. Chuck Liddell, who is well-rounded. Randy Couture. We're going to commercial, I guess, after this first round here. If this fight was on UFC Fight Night, it would be a minus 400 Timur. My word. Look at me, I have some wild takes, and I admit I'm delusional with my favorites, but it's never intended to disrespect you. Oh, I know. And JL, same back at you, buddy. Same back at you. I'm animated, I'm in streaming mode, I'm in I don't know. I'm talking to a webcam, I'm talking to a bunch of people here. Like I get in the groove and I'm passionate too. So no, as long as we have that understanding, we're good to go, buddy. We're good to go. I'm not even watching so hard to find Ultimate Fighter in Australia. Again, West Coast is good to see you, Team Chandler. The whole ranking system is so dumb. Bring back coaches choosing the fights every episode, dude. Absolutely. And bring back fighting to get into the house. I bet if we asked Bisping, who's really humble and always gives credit, would say that he evolved as a fighter and is better than Hendo. I mean, if I was Bisping, I would say that I was better than Hendo too. And if I was Hendo, I would say I was better than Bisping. I don't know. That makes no sense to me. That's disrespect. That is disrespect. When undoubtedly old versus new is the thing, UFC should put young against elite, not when they ill out of the prime. Hendo prime would destroy Bisping prime. I feel like not prime Hendo did beat prime Bisping, and then Bisping towards the end, when Hendo was 7 years past the end, lost, right? But no, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I mean, Anderson Silva in his prime, I think, would absolutely destroy Izzy. Or he would force Izzy to abandon game plan, which is what I actually really respect about Adesanya more than a lot of fighters, is his wires don't cross. Like, he follows the game plan, whether it's a boring game plan or an exciting one, to win the fight. And I do respect him for that. Whereas Silva, I don't know, and I could be a little bit biased with Silva, but Silva, in my opinion, is the closest thing I've ever seen to a superhero. Like that. Okay, I'm not a religious guy too, but I feel like Silva is the closest thing to magic in human, in real life that I've ever seen. And I don't think I'm an island. I don't think I'm on an island there either. The guy, he had an aura of invincibility around him for a reason. Izzy, Doesn't have that same aura. Doesn't always talk about his great commentary work and then his fighting career next. Why is this commercial so long? What does Connor do? He's not even in the corner's coaching. He's just yelling. He's yelling with his big suits. Connor's there to motivate. Same with Rampage back in the day. Let the real coaches coach. I mean, that is a good point. I mean, that season of The Ultimate Fighter, guys, I cannot say this enough. Season 10 of The Ultimate Fighter was peak Ultimate Fighter. Because Rampage, yeah, he was there to support fighters and train, and he brought in his own coaches to coach the guys, where Rashad would always rip on him. He's like, you're not even coaching. He's like, yeah, I'm not a coach. All right, round 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get it all!
How prime BJ Penn versus Khabib? Oh, God, that would be an amazing fight. If there's one guy whose jiu-jitsu at that time, in his prime, could nullify, a wrestler like that, like a Matt Hughes did, because they were very similar. Let's be honest, Khabib and Matt Hughes had very similar stuff. Fuck, I would do anything to see that fight, dude. I would rather see that fight than GSP Khabib personally. I want to see GSP Silva. That's the fight that, got away. Okay, we'll get right back to the comments in a sec here, folks. Four minutes and 20 seconds on the clock here. I'm not saying BJ Penn would win that fight. I'm saying I would way rather see prime BJ fight prime Khabib versus a prime GSP versus prime Khabib. GSP Khabib would be way more boring. Oh, beautiful slam takedown by Valiev. I'm 3 minutes and 56 seconds on the clock in the second round here. Right into side control. We have 5 minutes left in the show. I imagine Valiev is going to get a finish here in this second round. Aston. I mean, he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. Silva, GSP, and Mighty Mouse are my 3 favorite fighters of all time. Like, nice left. Deep cut fighters that I like, who I'm not going to argue are greatest of all time at all, but like Carlos Condit is up there for sure. BJ Penn. Sakuraba. Oh, beautiful left elbow by Valiev. He's in that modified half guard side control right now, looking to get into full mount. 3 minutes on the clock here. What I like about Valiev is his striking is actually fun to watch. Doesn't have like a full karate stance, but kind of bounces like a point striker, but he's so explosive and strong with his wrestling too. And again, he gets that striking from training at the Tiger Muay Thai, plus the MMA, and with his unbelievable wrestling background. Had mount for just a moment there. 2 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock. Trevor Wells did a good job of pushing him off of him. Yeah, but Jail, that's what someone said in the chat, and that was actually a great point. He's not there to coach. He brought his coaches there. So when he's literally there, I mean, he's coach on paper, but you know what I mean. He's got his coaches there to coach, where Chandler actually took on the coaching role. And Rampage did the same thing, JL, in season 10 of The Ultimate Fighter, where he wasn't in the corner necessarily, because he's like, I'm not a coach, I'm a fighter, but I was brought here to be the, one of the coaches for the team. So that's a good point. I dig that. I'm picking up what you're putting down there. But we can still make fun of Connor, just like we made fun of Rampage losing 7-1 that season, and he got swept by Forrest. I love what Rampage said too. He's like, I thought it was just because I'm black that they gave all the decisions to Forrest, but then when Rashad, came in, they're giving him all the decisions too. He's like, I just can't win. Oh, beautiful right hammer fist. Absolute domination of a round by Timur Valiev, and good job, Valiev, making the adjustments he needed to. Beautiful job taking the back, flattening out Trevor Wells. He's got the hook and he's got the body triangle. It doesn't matter if Trevor Wells turns to his back or turns on his stomach. Valiev's got him tangled up here, and it looks like he's giving up his back fully now. Valiev with the body triangle here. It's not like he has the double hooks, and Valiev now holding the left wrist and just laying down elbows. And again, trying to turn out of it is Trevor Wells. And a great job by Trevor Wells. What a reversal by Trevor Wells. Shaking off Timur Valiev, getting into his guard. And now laying down some punishment is Trevor Wells here. And goddamn, I just wish we had the global rule set. Because right there, Trevor Wells could have just run in with a knee if this was one championship or Ryzen. How MMA should be. And just need him right in the face. I mean, that's God, I hate UFC rules. I hate UFC rules so much. I hate them so much. Like, for moments like that, that would have been a pivotal moment for Trevor Wells if he was allowed to knee Timur Valiev. That would have been pivotal, but no. The UFC are a bunch of pansy-ass bitches, and they won't adopt the global rule set. Final 10 seconds left, and this is ending on the feet, ladies and gentlemen. God, I hate UFC rules, man. And Valiev, he is gassed, man. He's gassed, and he's showing more damage, but after this round, I mean, you have to give it to Trevor Wells. Honestly, or after this round, you have to give it to Valiev. That first round could be close. I could see, some shitty judge giving that first round to Wells, but the way, but because the show's about to end in 2 minutes or 3 minutes here, there has to be a decision. Yep, there is a decision. And this is going to go Valiev. Both of them are weighing a bit of damage. Yeah, and Valiev wins this one. Hey, my man, thank you so much for joining Rush Hour Fight Club. What's going on, everybody? Go show Rush Hour Fight Club some love. There are some people who may think that we're competitors. Rush Hour Fight Club. Nah, we are brothers. We are co-creators here on YouTube, and I always drop by your stream before or after, if we're not streaming at the same time, to like your videos, to say what's up in your live chat, and I'm so happy to see you here tonight. Rush Hour Fight Club does the same sort of things as we do, ladies and gentlemen. He does a lot of fight companions as well. For any streams that I'm not doing, you better believe that Rush Hour is doing them, so go show him some love as well. And Rush Hour, can't wait to see some of your fans jump in here and say what's up sometime when, again, we're not doing streams on the same events. Respect you covering this, my dude. You're on spot with the global rule set. Grounded knees are essential for MMA. UFC rule set are soft. Yes! And guys, I go back and forth with Rush Hour Fight Club on Twitter every now and then. Like, there's no animosity there. Sometimes I'm a little bit of a smartass when it comes to my short responses, Rush Hour, but you're an absolute beauty. Totally respect what you do. Inspiration for some of us here as well, and, getting off the ground. And, man, Rush Hour Fight Club, he is our people. The guy loves violence. The guy goes fucking ham with his reactions, and it's an honor to have you in the chat, buddy. My dude. I had to stop by and see my homie. You've been killing it, my man. Cheers to you, my dude. Again, everybody, go say what's up to Rush Hour Fight Club on his next stream. Be sure to subscribe to his channel. Like all his videos. If his stream ends, before mine and we're doing the same thing, we'll hop onto his. At least watch that for a little bit. Give him the view. Give him the watch time. Give him that thumbs up. Appreciate you. My guy. Yes, West Coast. Appreciate you joining as well, brother. Shane saying, my three favorite fighters are Kinoshita, Rodtang, and Jillian Robertson. Hey, those are some three great fighters. Although Rodtang and Rush Hour Fight Club, he'll agree with this, being a coward right now and dodging Superlek. And that's the fight we want to see. Chandler up 4-0. Just like my fifth favorite, Vulcan Max 2 was getting people calling Max the uncrowned champ in the third fight. Shut them up. Yeah, I don't know who was calling Max the uncrowned champ. I don't think anybody was calling him the uncrowned champ. And third fight, shut them up. Izzy will do the same with Robert, and I like Robert, but his fans are toxic as fuck. Really? I don't think Robert. I think Pereira's fans are a little crazier, but interesting. I love Robert Whittaker, and I'm in the camp that he won that second fight. I think it should be 1-1 between them. I do think Izzy knows the formula to beating Robert Whittaker, and it's going to be a hard fight for Robert Whittaker regardless. The Prime GSP sleeps Khabib. I don't know, sleeps him, but I don't know. I would have rather seen Silva and GSP at a catch weight than Khabib and GSP. I would honestly love to see. Honestly, I would have loved to see BJ Penn or Tony Ferguson fight Khabib over GSP. I think Izzy will remind us there's no conversation on who is the best if he faces Robert in September. I don't know, man. And again, JL, you weren't around for this era, so you just simply don't know. But like Silva at his time was beating better guys, in my opinion, than Izzy has beat throughout his career, Robert Whittaker aside. Khabib is GOAT, never hurt, but Jones next, Pavlovich next up. Dude, I can't wait to see Pavlovich fight John Jones. Pavlovich is fucking sick. I'm team Adesanya, but I'm super. And by the way, I have nothing against Israel Adesanya. I think he's incredible. I do think that he's the closest thing at middleweight to a Anderson Silva that the modern era of UFC will see. But Silva was on a completely different level, guys. A completely different level. Like it's unexplainable. Like there is no fighter in the UFC right now. I mean, other than Volkanovski, who has that aura of invincibility, and Silva made most of his fights look a lot easier than even Volkanovski has. And Volkanovski's made a lot of his fights look easy. I mean, other than Chael Sonnen won, Anderson Silva played with his food, man. And again, I will admit I'm a little biased with Silva because he's in my opinion, he's the greatest fighter of all time. Like he is just. I've never seen a fighter. I mean, other than John Jones, again, let's just assume John Jones is up there, but right under John Jones, I'm like, I've never seen a fighter do what Anderson Silva did, not even John Jones. Like, it's just, man, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about some of the knockouts. And he took out everyone, even himself with the showboating. He shot himself in the foot. Rodtang avoiding super like the plague.
Hey, that shit beautiful than a motherfucker.
Man, like Marley, I was impressed by Wells. Me too, dude. Me too. His reversals there were unbelievable. Team McGregor's getting embarrassed. What's up, Ant-Man Channel, one of our exclusive members here. Thoughts on Tatiana versus Jessica Andrade? Man, like Jessica Andrade, what I respect about her is she'll just take on anyone. She's like, I don't need any easy fights. You know, I'm at the top of the division. I'm a former champ. Just keep sending me the murderer's row of fighters. I love it. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think Suarez is just too good, too strong. Yeah, I would think Suarez is going to take that one. Rodtang hasn't fought anyone in the top 5. Just Can Superlik has beat everyone in the top 5. Dude, I cannot wait for Superlik to fight him in kickboxing, and I don't know if it's going to even be in 2023. There's the next poll question, guys. Who do you think we will see fight first? Superlek versus Rodtang or Chandler versus McGregor? He beat the Rich Franklin, who was a well-deserved middleweight champion at that time. He beat the top contender in the UFC, coming over from, I believe it was Cage Rage and Pride, which was Chris Lieben at the time. And then he beat the best of the... He cleaned up the middleweight division so much, he actually moved up to light heavyweight just for fun to fight Forrest Griffin. And a few other guys at light heavyweight, I forget them off the top of my head. But and Forrest Griffin was a champion at that time. Machida, Belfort, oh man, just like I should pull up his Tapology here. Connor definitely not fighting Chandler because he lost 10-0 in TUF. Well, and also because he didn't re-enter the USADA testing pool in time, so he can't fight him in 2023. Hey, Gilbert Melendez is on with Dean Thomas in the after show here. Pavlovich versus Jones is the closest thing we will get to Rumble versus Jones. Another fight that got away. Absolutely. And rest in peace, Anthony Rumble Johnson. Man, that would have been a banger. I do think Rumble Johnson found his home at heavyweight after that, and it's such a shame, you know, everything that happened to him. Again, rest in peace. Yeah, it would have been awesome to see him fight more in Bellator if he was still with us. Silva had some terrible title defenses though, like Dallas. Patrick Cote. But again, I credit the Cote one in particular. He was just playing with his food there. Travis Lutter, again, he didn't even have to perform to beat Travis Lutter. And he randomly fought James Irvin, which made no sense. It's because he cleaned out the division so much, right? Because there was nobody else that they had to do, kind of like what Duplessis is probably going to do with the Adesanya, right? If they kept going with the 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked guy, like he'd already beat them. So if he gets 12 title wins, which is more than Silva, are we still going to say he's better than Izzy? Izzy with 15 title wins? Depending on who Izzy fights? I mean, it honestly comes down to depending who Izzy fights. Before I'll completely relinquish that take. Because right now in the UFC, the middleweight division is one of the lightest divisions, right? As far as talent, it's not that great right now. Dan Henderson KO'd Michael Bisping after getting clean swept on TUF. That is true. We just talked about that earlier. But can we all agree on this? And you are so right.
Exactly that.
The real GOAT is Artem, and the real undefeated fighter is not Khabib. It is Chael Sonnen. Stand taking down Andrade is easier said than done. I expect this to be a test she needs. I think so too, and I don't think Andrade is going to look as drained, not even drained, as reckless is what I should have said and meant to say, as she was fighting Blanchfield. She took that fight on short notice, and I got my paycheck. I'm gonna see if I can knock this chick out quickly. And Blanchfield showed that she's the real deal. Again, I'm not on an island. I'm talking to a bunch of people who are under 20 years old. You guys didn't even watch Silva in his prime. So I'm not overly, swooning over Anderson Silva here. And it's obvious Timur's the best 35er there. I'll be shocked if he loses. Oh yeah, he looked damn good. Well, I'm curious to see how Brad Katona looks. But you very well could be right. I'm shocked Artem didn't beg Feldman for another BKFC fight after he lost in court to McGregor. Yeah, how much money did he lose? How much money did he lose? Like I said, Bilal's must have... No. See, you can't even compare the two. I know that's not what you're doing, but why are we doing this again, JL? We already ended this debate, this conversation. Your Bilal is like my Carlos Condit, okay? Two very, very good fighters. Bilal, not a tighter challenger yet, but he's going to be. Carlos Condit, he fought for the title as well and lost. That is my Bilal. To even utter Bilal Muhammad and GSP in any sort of comparison in the same sentence is so disrespectful to Silva, you don't even know. Back me up, chat. Back me up. It was not dry. It wasn't dry. That's the thing. It wasn't dry. He just beat all the better guys. And then they're like, okay, well, let's throw these guys who are cracking, the top 10, who are, on win streaks or whatever. And I'm not saying every single fight that Silva fought was amazing. Like, buddy in our live chat here, sorry, what's your name again? Aston, 100%, provided a decent, some decent counterpoints. But those weren't against the best of the best. And Silva was... And I didn't, this is my knock on him. He did like to play with his food. And Dana White even threatened to cut him after not cut him, but potentially cut him after the Damian Maia fight if he did that again. So is he just not the best kickboxer of all time with 3 more title wins, and he's the middleweight GOAT? Again, this is mixed martial arts. It's an amazing accomplishment. I'm not trying here to take anything away from Israel Adesanya, but if that's your counter argument, I mean, Silva front kicking TRT Belfort in the face is a way better comparison, because TRT Belfort would have probably eaten Izzy alive. Maybe not alive, maybe just a couple limbs. And Izzy might have, won that in the 3rd round too, but you know what I'm saying here? I can't believe it's hype for this tough season. I know. Now they've matched Elidze and Imavov. We are losing one of the fresh middleweight fighters. I do like Dolidze, I will say. But again, he's not... I don't know if he'll ever challenge for the title. He's getting up there in age. Why does she need humbling? You always say that fighters who aren't cocky need humbling. She needs humbling again. I love it when she thought she could bully her way through and get paid the price. I mean, she took the fight on, what was it, 5 days notice. And she probably knew she didn't have the cardio to wrestle Blanchfield, so she did what most people do in that sense, or I imagine it was, and go in there, throw some fisticuffs, and try to knock her out. Humbling. My goodness. Me and Benjamin were on Moicano's live stream today. Oh, nice, dude. I love Money Moicano. Burns. Oh my God. You just hate Gilbert Burns for some weird reason. Well, slow down. I'm not trying to start anything. I got my favorite fighter. I don't mean to twist any words. Don't say that, man. Don't say that, man, like Marley. Okay, sorry, you don't hate Bilal. You don't, or so you don't hate Burns. You don't hate Burns. Uh-oh. We've opened the can of worms. Well, look, it's put it this way. If Silva wasn't as dominant as he was, he wouldn't be my hero. That's the thing, right? That's the difference. Is Bilal's not even close to, has not even done an iota of what Silva has done in his career, right? No, talking about Andrade versus the Chinese woman. Oh, gotcha. I thought you were talking about Blanchfield, which, again, that's what she did against Blanchfield, was I'm going to go in so winging because I took this fight on whatever it was, a week's notice, and I can't grapple with Blanchfield because Blanchfield's fucking so good. What's up, Matt? What's up? How's it going, buddy? Look, again, and for everyone here, JL, we don't have a vendetta against each other. We're just very passionate. We just tend to go back and forth in the live chat. But JL, he's got his few fighters that he doesn't budge on. And despite them not being the fighters that I would not budge on, I respect his passion. And I say that every single time. I'm not even being facetious. It's actual respect, and JL knows that. Man like Marley, he's not. It's not an issue. It just fits the type of fighters that you like versus most of the live chat. Man like Marley, guess who his favorite lightweight fighter is? Preparing for a job interview. Dude, that's awesome. That is awesome. Are you done school yet? You had to take some summer classes, right? Look, I'm a fan of Marab, the character, like the fighter, the man, more than his fighting style, but I can't take anything away from what he's done. Like, he should be, I mean, he's a contender in the division. I mean, he's beaten really good guys, right? And I will never forgive him for what he did in Aldo's last fight, which was just hold Aldo up against the cage. Should have at least tried to, put on a little bit of show for his own resume. Say, hey, I actually landed like some good combos, some good leg kicks on Aldo here. Jared Gordon. I like Gamrot and Islam, though. I mean, I don't love them, but I do like them. Gamrot, I honestly watched... Okay, I've watched 2 of Gamrot's fights in the UFC, or 3. The Sarukian, Benil, and then what was it, the one before Sarukian? But I watched him fight Herbst for the title in KSW. And Herbst is fighting this weekend. And Chandler, right. Who do you think Chandler fights next now that he is not going to be fighting McGregor in 2023, guys? Again, man like Marley, thank you so much for joining again, buddy. You've joined, I believe you joined before. It was a little while ago, though, if I'm not mistaken. Appreciate you joining, buddy. And again, shout out to Rush Hour Fight Club again. Show them some love. Like, it was bad I couldn't watch 281 when Chandler and Izzy lost. I couldn't watch the event until January 1st. It was tough to watch. No, I hear you. It's tough when our heroes fall, buddy. Chandler eats Armin in 1. That's if Chandler beats him, it's in round 1 because Chandler's gonna gas after round 1 like he does. Armin, I don't like how Armin drops his hands. That's what he was doing in his last fight quite a bit. I don't think his last fight was his best performance, even though he won. I'd say I think he won against Gamrot, and I thought that was one of his coming out parties, in that he really showed that I was a former hockey player, and look what I can do in mixed martial arts. Yeah, it's been a minute. How you been? It's been good, man. Just grinding on YouTube. Went up north to the cabin, my friend's cabin on the lake this last weekend. So took a weekend off streaming. It was weird. It's weird to be back in the seat here, but we're good. But yeah, crushing content. Was visiting my friends and family back home in the spring. And yeah, just excited to do some camping, some chilling, a lot of work this summer, and keep crushing YouTube, dude. Yeah, Yeah, he did in his last one, but I do like Armin Sarukin. Not a super fan of him by any means, but I don't think people are giving him the credit he deserves upon that losing to Gamrot. And it's true. I was like, why is he not fighting? Everyone's ducking him. He hits hard. His striking has to get a little bit better, but I love that he's a former hockey player. Jay, I don't know if you knew this. And he talked about this a few times, and even in the promo leading up to his fight last weekend, he wanted to be a hockey player, but no Euro teams would sign him. No high-level junior teams would bring him on as an overager, and no KHL team, or I think it's the VHL or MHL. One of those is the KHL's junior or the Russian junior league. One of them is their like AHL. But no one would sign him because he wasn't that good of a hockey player. He said his wires would cross there, and he's pretty good at fighting in those leagues. And so after grinding hockey for 10 years, he still wanted to be competitive. His dad still wanted him to be, good at a sport. So at 18, he decided to start MMA, which is pretty sweet given, his age, that he's an athlete first, mixed martial artist second. And I still think he's got a lot of room to grow. So obviously a little bit of bias there because hockey is like one of my favorite sports. I hear about a hockey player becoming an MMA fighter, and it's let's go, baby. By the way, speaking of hockey and MMA, Fight TV is going to host I believe it's the 4th event for Ice Wars. If you guys don't know what Ice Wars is, it's a one-night tournament. That's right. These guys are fighting up to 3 times. Octagon, synthetic ice, full hockey gear, MMA gloves, 2 2-minute rounds. It's incredible. Shout out Ice Wars. I mean, his performance against Yoel Alvarez was insane. Yeah, this is, I think how I described it earlier was dead on. Correct me if I'm wrong, legit. We believe 80% of the way, like we agree 80% of the way on the same things, but 20% 20% of that 80% of the thing that we agree on is vastly different. Because I feel like we get to the same destination, but very different paths at the end. Crazy that Cannonier landed the most strikes in middleweight history. Crazy that Vittori's got chin. Dude, Vittori's got that Giga Chad chin. He's got that Drew Dober chin pre-Matt Frivola. So even the hockey teams are ducking him. Hey, that's a good comment. That is a good comment. That's comment of the night, JL. That's comment of the night.
That shit beautiful than a motherfucker.
JL, can you agree Merab is ruining the movement at bantamweight? It's annoying that he won't fight the champion. You know what should happen? You know who I actually blame, man, like Marley? I blame Sterling more because when this happened before, it was Daniel Cormier who moved down, right? So that Kane could fight for the heavyweight title, right? And that's the reason why he moved down. So Sterling should just move up at this point. I don't really think it's Merab or Merab should move up, but I think Sterling, to fit the narrative of, DC, he just stuck at light heavyweight instead of, probably being able to go and get the heavyweight strap. He let Kane do his thing. This is Sterling's fault. I do like Merab. Like, he's just a cheeky, fucking beautiful Gimli looking motherfucker. I love it. So, let's blame Sterling. Sterling should just move up already. Vittori's going to get knocked out even if he takes a year off. He has terrible defense. I mean, eventually he's going to get Chuck Liddell'd, right? But he's still, what is he, 29? He's not even 30, man. There we go. Thank you. He's injured anyways. He's never going to fight Aljo, so why doesn't he move down to 25 or move up? He's a big boy. Not tall boy, but he's thick. I think he said that he can't really do 25. He said that like 35, that like it's not easy, but he can live with it. I remember listening to him. It was Hawani. He was also on a different show after his win against Piotr Jan, where he said like 25 he just can't do. But he should have done it. He should do it now. I hope Sean KOs Merab. And Sterling. Dude, I want to see Sean O'Malley do well too, just because he took such an unorthodox route to the top. And unorthodox but smart. Built up his brand. Yeah, fought some cans, but like takes his training and everything seriously, and he obviously has the talent, right? And Welsh is an underrated coach too, and I can't wait to see Welsh's next prodigy. You know, an MMA Lab is an awesome gym. I mean, Cannoneer comes out of there. Rob only became a contender after beating Piotr in the eyes of the public. Alger already had Cejudo to deal with. Now it's Sean. He said this in his last fight at Bantamweight. Yeah, I don't think he himself is holding up Bantamweight. It's just annoying when like you put that out there and the matchmakers have to like work around diva-ness, I guess. Whereas like brothers face each other in the National Hockey League. Hell, I had friends in university who would square up every time they played each other in college hockey, mostly just to piss off their parents, but they would square. One was a scorer, one was actually an enforcer, and they didn't give a fuck. So these guys aren't even real brothers and they won't fight. I mean, that's the difference between Canadians and, well, Americans. I'm just going to say Rob's an honorary American at this point. They don't want to fight their brothers. Canadians, we don't give a fuck. If the task is at hand to fight your brother on the ice, in the ring, we will do it. In the Ice Wars cage, we will do it. Cejudo needed humbling. Now, Cejudo's achieved so much, he deserves to talk his shit. And Rob earned a shot after Aldo. Jones is a diva. He refused to face Gus after the first fight and took his fucking time eating ramen and rice training there. Ramen, rice, and chicken to train to a fight in Ngannou, which never happened. Like that fucking face-off last weekend too. Like, oh my God. Like, why hype fans of mixed martial arts if this is not gonna happen, Race FO? Unless ESPN. Did you guys see this? I saw I forget if it was a blog or a tweet or something suggesting that ESPN, sensing how big this pay-per-view might be, might make the UFC break their only rule of not doing cross-promotion anymore. The Chuck Liddell Rampage rule. If you guys don't recall, you youngins, the only other time the UFC did a cross-promotion, tournament cross-promotion fight was when he sent Chuck Liddell to the Pride tournament, expecting him to win it all. And in the second round, Rampage actually beat Chuck Liddell. And Dana White was on commentary during that, sitting right next to the Pride, the Pride executives there. And ever since that day, the UFC has never done any cross-promotion. You know, we see Bellator going up against Ryzen. Shotri, you know, we've seen one in, I believe, Bellator go at it early when one championship started back in I think it was 2012, but now one is pretty established. They kind of own the East as far as the big martial arts promotion. And they said that they're only going to do it with the UFC. But what if ESPN forces the UFC's hand to put together just like a one-off night card where it's, let's say it's all UFC except for like the co-main and the main event. And the co-main event is Kayla Harrison and Francis Ngannou in it. That's going to make money. The PFL's hemorrhaging money right now. That's gonna make money. ESPN will probably have the better of the deal, and maybe they force the UFC's hand here. I mean, that is a stretch, but maybe that could happen. And by the way, it has been confirmed that the PFL is looking to buy Bellator, which is crazy. Scott Coker saying that he doesn't know and can't give any details on it because there's no deal yet. But it's possible that the leagues straight up merge versus continue to run simultaneously. So that is just crazy news in MMA. And here again, bonus footage for TUF. Bonus fucking footage that should be footage in the show. Bonus footage of footage that should be in the show. Jones ducked to fight Sonnen, and the event got canceled. Wasn't he... Didn't it have something to do with steroids, not ducking? Jones always done shit on his terms. It don't surprise me anymore. Oh, it doesn't surprise me. It was just annoying. Ignores the Kachuk brothers would give it a go. They would, but they haven't yet, have they? No, but they 100% would. And dude, and their sister would just jump on the ice too to just take a crack at one of them probably as well. When is Gordon's next fight? Dude, he's not fighting for a while. He was injured in his last one. The UFC's not going to rush him back in, given he lied to them. Dana White's not too happy with Jared Gordon right now. He is far from a dog being waiting to be unleashed. I think he's a wounded puppy right now, and he needs to heal up. What's up, Charles? So probably I would imagine 6 months, Jay. 5 to 6 months is when we'll see Jared Gordon again. I think no earlier than 5 months. Will McGregor's team win a fight ever? I don't know. Are we going to see Rampage again? Rampage in the Forrest Griffin season? What's up, Charles? I think Hammond will win his fight. Yeah, so we got Lee Hammond against Kurt. Honestly, I think most of like the former UFC guys are going to clean up on this one. But yeah, Hammond's a pretty good fighter as well. Do Gordon versus Miller next? Yeah, why not? That would make a lot of sense, actually. I think Miller did want to fight one more time this year. So let's see. Maybe December? Maybe December. What the fuck is Dean Thomas doing here? I will give it to Dean Thomas. I can't stand him on the mic during events. He was a decent fighter in the UFC, and he was actually pretty funny on the Ultimate Fighter Season 4, which was the comeback season. The first comeback season. The OG comeback season. Where Matt Serra, as a result, got a title shot and ended up shocking the world. I'd rather face Robert than an angry Gordon. You'd rather face Robert Whittaker? Oh, not me, dude. Robert Whittaker is, and I say this with all due respect, he's the Wish version of GSP. And even if you're the Wish version of GSP, that's still the version of GSP. His style is so similar to George, it blows my mind. Cross promotion, bring Mighty Mouse back. I don't think Mighty Mouse wants anything to do with the UFC. But I would like to see one championships champions go up against UFC champions, or just high-level one guys go up against high-level UFC guys. Win or lose, Miller can fight on 300 and call it a career. Yes, that is awesome. JL, yes, UFC 300, Miller versus Gordon, perfect. It's a win-win-win. It will be an early retirement. I don't think it can be an early retirement when the guy's 40 years old. Man, Miller proved the doubters wrong that he still's got power in his mitts. No, he beat a guy off the Fury scene in Fury FC, not the best regional show. RDR versus Izzy would be a beatdown. Yes, we'll agree on that. RDR is a fraud when it comes to MMA. I do not think he's as good as everyone thinks he is. Wonderboy is the nicest person I know, right? And an absolute savage. That fight against, Holland was just so much fun. So much fun. Jim Miller's a savage, dude. What a beauty. I mean, I'm feeling old now. I remember his first fight in the UFC. I remember following the Millers, the Lozons, early Cowboy. Shit, even when Barbosa came in, right? He came in pretty young as well. That wave, guys, was so awesome. After the dark era, before Reebok, just the Wild West, man. The Wild West. It was awesome. Well, I mean, he had to fight someone on short notice, right? He had to fight someone short. He knocked out a guy much younger than him. There's something to say there, but yeah. I thought he was more of a bum than he was. I watched more breakdown videos, and apparently he's one of the better guys in that promotion. Again, I'm more salty than most people when it comes to Fury. I will say that just because the last few live streams we've done of Fury, they've been absolutely shitty show, just shitty events. There are good fighters come out of there. It's not as bad as I say it is. But again, look, I know you're not a fan of Miller, and I don't even think I'm twisting your words here because of your tone again when it comes to him. JL doesn't respect Miller like we do, men like Marley. JL's younger than us. He saw Miller as an opponent of JL, and so thus Miller's the enemy. So Vittori took a lot of damage and people are praising it. Wow, talk about a backhanded compliment. I feel like we say that in all of Vittori's fights, don't we? Remember them leg kicks versus Poirier? It was insane, dude. He's fought just the who's who of the lightweight division. Watch out for the Penn State boys at 291, Young and Nickel. Yeah, two Penn State boys. Oh man, I just hope they don't rush Bo Nickel. He's got such a long way to go in the striking department. Gordon was stringing him like Aljo did to Corey. I don't know if he would. He's got pretty good jiu-jitsu defense, wrestling defense. He's good at keeping the fight on the feet, and he's actually a very good jiu-jitsu practitioner in his own right is Jim Miller. I remember Jim Miller. He used to get a bunch of chokes back when I followed him. Let's see. Let's take a look here. 36 wins, man. What a fucking beauty. But 19 submissions. He's all right in the submission department. He has stopping power and submissions. Jim choked Cowboy at 170, didn't he? Yep, that was Cowboy, I think, had 1 foot. No, Cowboy was supposed to fight Lozon. Lozon had to pull out. So Jim Miller took that fight on short notice. I believe that's what it was. I mean, I think I picked Gordon to win that fight. Did I not, JL? I just don't think it's going to be a bloodbath like you think. No respect for that's the thing. You just don't have respect for the legends, man. And that's the thing that's sad. And Errol Hawani says, I don't agree with everything Hawani says, but I will say this. He says it is sad that the legends, like the Carlos Condits, who, recently retired last year, like the Jim Millers, they don't get respect from the young crowd, man. They don't get the respect they deserve. And like the fact that the young crowd don't even know Carlos. Do you even know who Carlos Condit is, JL? Interesting. Joaquim Silva, the guy that just lost to Armin, he knocked out Jared Gordon in 2018. Gordon will beat Miller like BJ did to Diego. Okay, that's a good pull. See, we're comparing such like BJ was at his peak running the lightweight division at that time, and Diego Sanchez moved down a weight class, got a couple wins. I just don't think that's the best comparison. And again, I just don't believe it's going to be that easy for Jared Gordon. I do think Gordon wins. I think it goes the distance. Jared Gordon wins. He does some good pinning up against the cage, maybe some short elbows. I don't think Jim Miller lets him take him to the ground easy, and I don't think that Jared Gordon's going to allow Jim Miller to box with him. I think it's going to be a more boring fight, a more Jared Gordon style fight, and I think 3 rounds, Jared Gordon's probably going to outpoint him, like he should have got the win against Paddy Pimblett. Well, that is an evolved Gordon. It's a concussed Gordon right now, buddy. Jesus Christ. Jim's really well-rounded. He's only lost to very athletic and explosive fighters. Even at 39, like, he looks decent. Now, I want to see him go past round 2. No, wait. He did recently. He went the decent. He lost a decision, but it was a good fight, and it was a close fight. Here, hold on. I'm bringing his stats back up here. Oh, fuck. I don't want Sure Dog. I want Tapology. I used to be like a Sure Dog guy, and as soon as I jumped on the Tapology train, I just can't go back. Okay, yeah, it was Alexander Hernandez. Hernandez getting back in the win column. Unanimous decision to Hernandez, but not an absolute beatdown. And he actually went to 3 rounds with him. And yeah, okay. Gassed a little bit at the end of the 3rd round, but kept a pretty high pace throughout the whole fight. And I was impressed that he was able to still do that. How do you feel when you see Oliveira knock out Gordon? Yeah, he had a really close fight to Hernandez. That's right, yeah. And I think, Hernandez deserved to win. I think I'm pretty sure we acknowledged in the live chat that it was a close fight, but I think for the most part, we all said Hernandez won that one. But yeah, no, it was a close fight. First of all, that is a young Gordon. To be perfectly honest, Gordon was kind of old the whole time he was in the UFC. He's 30, what is he, 35 right now? So a young Gordon. You can say inexperienced, but he wasn't young necessarily. And I don't want to talk about it. He had a tough week. He had other issues going on. Again, I respect Jared Gordon's story. Probably more than most. Probably more than JL. As a fighter, he's a fine fighter in a very stacked division. He will never slice through the top 10. How did Oliveira versus Gordon fight? Please, Gordon couldn't even beat Frivola. It did happen. It was when was that fight? That was a while ago. Yeah, it was 29-28, but Hernandez won, but Alex is good. He just needs to put it together. Yeah, he's one of those who has the talents, but I feel like he's just like his wires cross for better or for worse. He actually gets too aggressive or doesn't do enough. Man, like Marley, like I said, it's good to see you again. Benjamin, by the way, one of our exclusive members. Same with JL, same with Shane. Thank you guys so much for going above and beyond supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. And you know, JL, for all that we agree on, for all that we disagree on, I do appreciate at my core the support you show the channel. Genuinely, man. So I thank you so much. And hey, you always create conversation in the live chat, which is awesome, and I appreciate that every single night. Have a great evening, man. I don't know if you got school or work tomorrow, but whatever it is, I hope it's awesome. And yeah, thanks for chiming in the Discord. Now, JL, as you can see, we're pretty active there as well. Have a great night, buddy. I will post the schedule tonight, and my Ryzen 43 picks and predictions are live here on the channel. I will post the link in the description. Kyle, by the way, just informed me that he is posting a new fishing vlog, 2 new fishing vlogs this week, and they will be posted on Thursday. But again, I actually filmed the PFL predictions video right before jumping here live, so I'm going to edit that tonight, and it will be up first thing tomorrow morning. If you guys want to check out my Ryzen best bets, picks, and prediction video, please do so. There's some footage of Crazy Horse in it, so you're not missing out. Trust me, you ain't missing out. And there's like 3 to 4 good underdog bets on that predictions video, folks. I was talking current Oliveira. Remember, I'm new. I've been thinking, do you think Van beats Zyglas? I think he smokes him. Dude, so that is a great question, and it's so funny. In the last prediction video, before Zyglas' opponent withdrew, I actually had Zyglas winning that one. And I said, like, it could be close, whatever, but I just have a feeling. I'm on the same page as you for this one. Despite it just being a week later, despite being a new opponent, I actually think Van beats him. And I'll get into it on the UFC prediction video. I'm filming that one tomorrow morning, and I will post it as soon as I finish editing it later Wednesday night. So if you miss it Wednesday night, you'll probably see it Thursday morning. But I will have the UFC prediction video up. I'm just doing 3 this week. Ryzen 43, which I posted the link in the live chat here. PFL, which will drop before I go to bed. And then UFC early tomorrow. Jared Van Der is fighting Muay Thai this weekend. Wait, on what card? PFL, honestly, it actually delivered, which is surprising. Bellator did to a certain extent. They had to do fucking post-limbs because they were an hour late with the broadcast. Dude, I like them. Yeah, I'll definitely do a more of a deep dive on my predictions video. And you know what? I'm gonna give you a shout out as well. I'll give Man Like Marley a shout out because we're on the same wavelength there. I went 11-12 on PFL picks. Nunes screwed my perfect night. Damn. I think I've only had a perfect night once. I do pretty good with my Cage Warriors predictions. Put it this way. I do way better on regional fights. And because it's easier to put it this way. Between weigh-ins, their record, and just like watching a few of their fights, or even just like extended highlights, you can make picks pretty easy. BKFC. I mean, if Mike Jones has taught me anything, Mike Jones, shout out to you. I know you're still on vacation. I believe in the Caribbean still. Shout out to you, buddy. If you tune back into this at whatever time, or if you're just lurking. Mike Jones, he makes bang. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that little glitch there. I thought that was my roommates maybe pulling the plug, being like, Yeesh, it's time to go to bed. The house is asleep. You're still streaming. And you know what? I think we'll call it. I think we'll hang up the gloves here. UFC Emmett versus Ilya will be an early card. Yeah, it's on ABC, right? UFC on ABC. But we will be streaming that one, buddy. We will be streaming that one. Again, I will be posting my streaming schedule for the rest of the week tonight. I believe Kaposa just made his tweet, so I'm going to check out his schedule. And then, yeah, I'll post mine as well. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Ring that bell for notifications so you never miss an upload. Man, like Marley, it was awesome to see you in the chat here, buddy. I hope to see you again soon. Wish you all the best in everything you're doing. Same with all the exclusive members who joined us here tonight and everybody else. But a quick shout out to the exclusive members: MN Wild Talk, JL, Benjamin, Shane. I know I'm missing someone. Or was that it? Oh, and Ant-Man channel. Thank you guys so much for going above and beyond, supporting the channel. See you in a bit, man. Good to see you too. Yeah, cheers, buddy. Cheers. I know it's a little early for the wobbly pops this week, but fuck it. It's the summer. We will be back most likely Thursday or most likely Friday, ladies and gentlemen, for more MMA Fight Companions. Very excited to have you folks alongside for the ride. Like and subscribe. We'll see you for live play-by-play commentary, reaction, and interaction this weekend. Check out the prediction videos and join us next Tuesday for another watch party here. TUF 31. It's a terrible season, but we're going to grind it out. We're going to grind it out till the TUF finale, which is on a pay-per-view card. Hilarious. Good for them. And then we will turn it around 2-3 weeks after that for Dana White Contender Series, the real Tuesday night fight show. Have a great evening, everyone. We will see you back here on Friday to start off the weekend of Fight Companions. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Loaded up. Potentially 6 streams this weekend. Minimum of 4. We got 3 prediction videos. Check out the Ryzen one. Check out the PFL one that drops tomorrow. And I will see you folks this weekend. Have a great rest of your week, guys. And can't wait to watch more fights. Can't wait to be back. It's been far too long. Have a great evening. Have a great week. And I will see you on the next one. Peace. I'm out of here.
In the fiercest battle